Hey, everybody, this is David Skarika. So I was doing an update on uranium, which I'll put out tomorrow, but this news from Inca One came out. I was hoping last night it would be good news, and everything had been doing so well here for 5, 6 months, or 5, 6 weeks, sorry. Our silver stocks, that I recommended had done very well. Um, Everything had been doing so well, in precious metals, our juniors were perking up. But look, we own numerous amounts of positions for a while. This is why I own literally dozens of these kind of companies, because something can always go wrong in one. Mining is a difficult business. I'll show you a chart. Franco-Nevada, one of the largest company in the world, in terms of royalty companies, it had a problem in its mine a few weeks ago. Or a few months ago, and the stock tanked. So Inca One made this deal with OCIM back in 2021, and this allowed them to keep their production at roughly 200 tons a day, and then it gave them also access to additional funds. And there's been a bunch of stuff going on in Peru. I guess there's some guy who's like an organized crime guy who has a production facility, and so a lot of banks, a lot of companies have stopped lending to these companies, et cetera, et cetera. And it hasn't really hurt Dynacor. The Dynacor is doing fantastically. And of course, Inca One is totally above board with all this. But so anyhow, this company is now calling in this OCIM some of the loan. So you can see this year, they missed a loan payment of 75 ounces. So that's only a quarter of one of the month's payment. So it's 170,000 US, which isn't obviously a huge amount of money. But because this company is calling in some of the loan, it gives them a little bit of a cash problem right now. So to be very blunt, Inca One is going to have to raise some more money. And of course, missing a payment is never that good. I'm kind of disappointed that this has happened. When you invest in these junior mining companies, you do really believe in the managements more than anything. And I like Edward Kelly a lot, the CEO. I put my own money in this. My average price is about 15 cents in it, and the stock right now is around 11 to 12 cents. So I went from being up 20% to basically being down 20% in a day. It's just one position, and it's nowhere near being one of my larger positions, but I know a lot of you liked it. The good news is many of you did the private placement are still higher on it. Many of you who bought it in the last few months, probably in the range where it is now, you're flat on it. Obviously, if you don't like this news and you just want to get out, you can. I'm not going to panic and sell right here today. I want to see how the company can respond to this, but they will need additional capital. They will probably have to, this is why a lot of junior mining companies, let's face it, this is why a lot of them will dilute. And they will dilute because they don't want to run into a position like this, where if you can't pay some kind of loan off, you default on the loan, and then the person giving you the loan can come and take over your property. So Inca One obviously has a different model because they're doing this production facility which produces, revenue, et cetera. They're not just an exploration company. So that also made them, like basically, remember, if they wanted the full amount of money they needed to get this thing into full production, it probably would have taken about $30 million. Well, $30 million raised, let's say 10 cents is, it's 300 million shares plus a warrant. You could have a 500 or 600 million share company out. And, one thing that Dynacor has done very well has not been able to dilute. Like Dynacor has, a $200 million market cap, and the company is trading at $4. So they've done a great job, great job of keeping that, that shares outstanding at 15 million or so. So look, just to give you an example how this can happen, this is Franco-Nevada, which is one of the largest royalty companies in the world. They had an issue at their property in Peru. And you can see this, it went from 135 down to 117.5. So this basically went down, $20 in price. And this is a gigantic company on these issues they had at this facility or one of their mines that they invested in. Remember, this is a royalty company in Peru. So this thing can happen to anyone. But of course, Inca One is a small company, and this is their only facility. And you have to say, like, look, like I said, I do like Edward a lot. There's a reason I've supported this company, but I am disappointed that this also somewhat was allowed to happen. Right, so, because I don't think $170,000 kind of loan should have been happen, default happened, so obviously I'm not happy about it, and, I never want to lose people money. I always like when people make money, and people have been making money in the last few months. We did, I got back into a marijuana company that, is up 30-40% in a few weeks. That's the kind of thing I want to do. Never had this kind of thing happen, but also when these things happen, you can't just run away from it. They are a sponsor company, I've taken money from them. It's not a huge amount of money, and most of it goes back into whatever business costs and advertising or the whatnot. So anyhow, I know a lot of you are going to be disappointed. I'm disappointed. I put my own money in these things, and I don't like losing money myself. But this is just one position, and I've talked about others at length. And we've had a couple do really well, a company like Gold Shore, is up almost 100% in just the last few months. So anyhow, we're just gonna have to see how it goes forward. Like I said, if someone wants to just sell down here and just say, okay, wash your hands of it, take a small loss, I have no problem with that, because you have to do your own risk. I don't want to sit here and panic on this kind of, bad news right now. But the company now does have to kind of turn this around. I also own the private placement, which I cannot sell until mid-May. So, and it's my understanding, it's not this full 6 million, it's just a small portion of that. But this will essentially have to be repaid probably within the next 45 days. So they're gonna have to come up with capital to do that. And I think there's various reasons, but I won't get into why this is happening. And I think actually the gold market being strong may have a reason to do with it. So, but this is again a problem when you use debt, etc. And I'm disappointed this has happened. I'm not happy about it myself, because like I said, I'm still up in the private placement, but this lost me a few $1,000 today, and it's never good to lose money. So, anyhow, like I said, it's just one position. We have other stocks that are doing very well. And at some point I'll do an interview with Edward. I don't think he's the type of guy who's going to go into hiding. And he can explain the situation maybe in more detail. So everybody take care. I wish I had better news today, but like I said, I was going to put out my uranium update, and then I saw this news, and then, I was like, okay, I got to put this out, I got to put this out, so, and I'm being honest here too, like Edward may not like some of the stuff I'm saying, but yeah, I am disappointed that not paying a very small portion, basically an interest payment on the loan, was done, where I think that everything possible should be done to make that sort of payment, so that's basically it. Take care, and we can talk later.